I'm in a very giving mood today. Today we're going to talk about, in this live stream, we're going to talk about PM versus RM. Let me go grab some paperwork. So, I'm trying to help you guys out here with your dump truck business. You want your business to go better? These are some things you gotta just follow my advice on this. I'm telling you. This is the type of thing that I've learned over 4 years of being in business versus from when I just started. So, as I'm talking to you guys, PM versus RM. So, what does that mean? So, preventative maintenance versus routine maintenance. Are they the same thing? Are they different? You know, building a routine maintenance for your dump trucks and keeping track of that stuff is not easy. It's not easy at all. I think today's the 16th, ain't it? September 16th. Okay, so today, after work, we got done. We finally hit 90,000 miles. We're at 92 right now. Just got the oil filters in from Peterbilt. So we just did the oil change. Also, filter change, and I replaced a low beam light on it. This is a basic example of something you need to come up with. And I stole this idea basically from my last employer. They basically had these. They had them cut, though, into strips. And then they had them sitting over by the fuel thing and, you know, issue requiring maintenance, description, you know. And they had a lot less lines, right? So I went on to Microsoft Word and I just made this, and then I printed one out, and then I made like 1 billion copies of it. And so you put the date, you put the truck, you put the mileage. Obviously I don't have a trailer, so I just leave that blank. So these right here are going to help you in the long run, because here's why. You think I have that part number memorized? That 20-digit part number? I don't have that memorized. Okay? Every time you call the dealer, they're like, hey, what's your VIN? You know how annoying that is? Like, seriously. Dealerships, if you ever watch this video, you got to stop asking for the VIN. You got to start asking who the customer is, and you got to save the VIN for the trucks in under that customer. It'll make your life so much easier. It'll make our lives easier. It's a win-win. Do it. Please, just do it. Save the VIN numbers in the customer file. Like, I don't think that would be that hard. Like, miscellaneous VIN number, you know? That way, when I call you up, I don't have to give you a VIN number that I've given you 20 million times. Right? So in order to avoid that stupidness, right? Because I have the VIN number memorized. I have to scroll through my phone on the pictures and then find the picture of the VIN number. Or I have to go to my notes and I have to find the VIN. With all the notes I take, you know how much of a pain in the butt that is? Like, I'm never right at the truck to say, hey, here's my VIN number. You know, so instead of doing that, I have these little papers, you know, that I write everything down. When you do stuff, you write the part number down. write it down on this piece of paper. It takes literally like maybe an extra minute to write down all the part numbers, and then you can just highlight it if you want. Next time you want to work on something, here's an old one I did. Look at the star. See this? Boom, part numbers. Next time I need one of those flex exhaust pipes, boom, there's the phone number. How many do you want me to show you? I got a whole bunch of these. It's all part of a maintenance plan. Routine maintenance and preventative maintenance. Right? Things that just make your life go easier. I swear by these things. If you can just, it's not hard. Make something to write down on. Right? So routine maintenance to me is things that you have to do every set amount of miles. For example, oil changes. That's routine maintenance. You know, because you're doing it every 30,000 miles. Dude, Blake, I've seriously been considering it, bro. Dude, I've seriously been considering hiring a guy I know. I'm like, hey, man, I'll give you $100 every weekend. You come over and all you do is just grease the trucks. That's all you got to do. Just grease them, you know, or $50 or what. I haven't really thought of a number yet, but I've been thinking about it very hard because I don't want to grease the trucks anymore. I don't have time. I don't want to grease them. I don't have time, mostly. I don't want to make time, is what it really comes down to. I do not want to make the time for that. I'd rather be doing other stupid stuff. I have been considering that big time. Do you have somebody that does that? I've got a guy that does mine. He's a mobile mechanic. He greases mine for $50 each, then checks them over and sees if anything needs fixed. How many times has he come up to you and actually told you something that needed fixed? I don't know. How many times has he be like, hey, Blake, that airline's rubbing, or this wire's rubbing through, do something about it? Or does he actually tell you, or does he write it out? Does he make a statement or something? Does he write it on a piece of paper, or does he just tell you? How does that work? How often does he see something? He must be an actual, like, mobile mechanic guy. Gotcha. I need to find one of those guys, Blake. I do. I need to find one. Oh, yeah. Copy that. I knew that was coming. More money for him to fix it. Okay. Got that written down. Another thing I had to change today. Stupid running light. An H11. Low beam. I'll an extra one. Yeah, just look for a guy. His hourly rate isn't bad, like $65 an hour. He's the guy that helped me put the motor in my red truck. $65 an hour, that's it? Dude, I would never find anybody that cheap around here. There's no way. There's no way, bro. Minimum 100, at least $100 an hour, maybe, probably closer to 110, 120. I don't think I'd ever get anybody that cheap. H11. H11. That's what that is. I bought an extra one to put in my light bulb collection. I thought I had one for the low beams already, but I was wrong. I have one for the high beams. Because when I did, like a few months ago, one of the high beams burned out. I thought it was the low beam. And I replaced it and I bought an extra one. But it was the high beam instead of the low beam. So now I have an extra of the low beams. You know, thing, when you first get started, you can't be buying, 20 million of one part, though. I will say that. When I first started, my inventory was very slim. Copy that. $15 an hour. You know how long it would take to lube my 2 trucks up? I mean, I can do it in probably 45 minutes a piece. So for $30, that's the price I'd be willing to work with. I can tell you that. So, preventative maintenance, to me, you're walking around the truck and you see something that looks like it could go wrong. For example, wires that are rubbing through, airlines that are rubbing through. If you see something that's starting to leak, like maybe a radiator hose starting to leak, that all to me is preventative maintenance. So you got your routine maintenance, which is you're greasing the truck, you're changing the oil, you're changing the filters, you're changing the fuel filter, changing the hydraulic filter, doing your fluid changes. Those have mileage intervals, that the manufacturer recommends. Just follow their stuff. Easy peasy. And then preventive maintenance is, that's usually stuff that's found in a pre-trip. Pre-trip, or like Blake said, he's got somebody he pays to go around the trucks when he greases them and looks at them. And let me tell you what, that guy that looks around the truck, if he has an eagle eye, if he can spot stuff, if he has attention to detail, he's worth his weight in gold. I'll tell you that right now. He's worth his weight in gold. Well, let's go over here and check, Blake. Check. One of the things you want to do too, and you're going to notice this, the more trucks you have, make your routine maintenance easier on yourself. Make it easier. I installed that easy drain right there. I literally did the oil change in like maybe 15 minutes. The longest part of the whole oil change was waiting for it to drain and then pouring the new oil in. That was the longest part. Okay, here's an air tank. Yep, no water in that one. No water in that one. That's it. The nice thing is this truck, it doesn't build water. For some reason, the air dryer works amazing on this truck. Which I should be looking at probably replacing the air dryer filter pretty soon here, because I've had the truck for a whole year. And usually those things are like a yearly thing. At least in my my experience with my old Peterbilt. But it's also depends on the air dryer system you have. And look at that. Freaking boulder over here rubbing on the rock, rubbing on the wires. Oh yeah, no, the older one makes water. Dude, the older one makes water. I don't know where it comes from, but it makes it. You got that right, man. This one, though, it never has water in it. I just love this PACCAR MX-13. Dude, Peterbilt, when they designed this, I mean, look how much easier accessible this is underneath there. It's so accessible. Everything is so accessible. One thing I love about this truck, too, is look how high up it is off the ground. Like, it is tall. I don't know if that has to do with the size tires, but this is a taller than normal truck, and I love it. So another one of those preventative maintenance, routine maintenance. Get yourself one of these pliers. These things are amazing. I know there's a nail in one of the tires. Pull the nails out. As soon as you find them, pull them out. Oh, where did it go? Of course, the truck's sitting on it, probably. A lot of times what I'll do, if I find a nail during the day and I don't have some pliers, I'll just mark it like that. Easier to find it. For some reason, I didn't mark it. There was one nail sitting in one of these lugs somewhere. I know I seen it. But as an owner, and I learned this one from big rigs. When these trucks are driving by and you're home, when they're driving by the fuel island, they're stopped for fuel, you need to be looking at stuff. Everything. Look the truck over 100%. I know it makes the drivers nervous, but you know what? If they ain't doing their job, if they ain't doing the pre-trip, you know, then you're going to find stuff. If they're not finding it, you're going to find it. And that's important. It don't matter who finds it, as long as it gets found. That's kind of the way I feel, you know. As long as it gets found, doesn't cause me no problems. But, yep, we did oil change. Changed the light bulb. Super easy on this. Just 2 screws. Pull this cover off. Twist it and pull. That's what she said. Anyways. I think I've been beating a dead horse about the paperwork. This stuff is going to save you guys so much time in the long run. You know, the nice thing is you can call up the dealership or you can call up O'Reilly and say, I got part number, blah, 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 blah. I need it delivered. Then you don't even have to stress. You don't even have to go pick it up. They deliver it to you. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. That's the best part about it, is they deliver it for free. Because they want your business. One of the examples of preventive maintenance that I've used recently is when I'm inside of like a light housing, for example, and you notice that the wires are rubbed. You can tell they're rubbed pretty good. Like, and sometimes you could, and this may not work in other states, but in Washington, we don't get the corrosion like they do in a lot of different states. Like some people, if they get one hole in the wire is just toast. You might as well just replace the whole thing. Washington, it's not really like that. The wires don't get corroded as fast. So what you do is you just take, if you notice it and you don't have time to replace the whole thing, just take some electrical tape, wrap that sucker, you know? Keep it from rubbing through all the way. Keep it from shorting out, you know? And then next time you have to replace the wire, don't just replace the wire and call it good. Make it better than it was so it doesn't happen again, right? Add some extra rub protection on it, you know? That stuff's so cheap, it's like pennies. Literally pennies. So it's worth it to me, you know, to install that stuff. When I'm doing a repair, just do it the right way, you know, put that stuff on. It'll save you in the long run. Another thing that's nice too is I haven't done it lately, but a lot of the receipts you get, sometimes they have part numbers on them. You know, that's also a very good thing to write down, you know, or if you keep your receipts in a certain folder, then you can go back and dig through your receipts and say, oh, I bought this before. Okay, that's the one I want. And then call them up. You know, this is just easier for me to find. I hate digging through receipts, personally. And a lot of times, the receipts, sometimes they'll fade, and you won't be able to read nothing on it. Or they get dirty and crunched up or wet, you know, and whatever happens to them, happens to them. I'm telling you, dude, this clipboard system is the best I've come up with. In 4 years of being in business, this is one of my favorite things to do now, is just write down part numbers. Because if I ever have that problem again, it'll be 10 million times easier to solve it. And on the plus side also, if you ever get audited by the DOT, they're going to look at that and be like, dang, this guy writes down everything. Part numbers, everything. Even stuff that he doesn't have to write down. He's still writing it down. Dude, that says something. And then when you go to sell the truck, you have all the records. And you can be like, here's all the stuff I bought. Here's the, you know, everything I've done. That's worth something to people. You know, when people say they have all the receipts and you can go and you can look through and it looks, you know, that is worth something. Or at least it is to me. You know, when you go on Craigslist and you see an ad and it says, oh, motor rebuilt 30,000 miles ago. And you ask them, hey, you got any paperwork for that? Oh, no, I don't have any paperwork. It didn't happen. You don't have paperwork, it didn't happen. It's like, no pictures, didn't happen. No paperwork, it didn't happen. Same difference. I'm just writing down all the stuff that I did to the trucks recently. 3-prong connector on back passenger tail light. Wire broke. Replaced. Hey, babe. Dinner's ready? Yep. Sweet. All right, I'm about to peace out. We got some street tacos for dinner today.
Yeah.
Oh, fajitas. That looks good. Another thing that's really nice is when you put this stuff up on the wall, every time you walk in, you see it, and it reminds you. You know, like, oh, did I do this? Did I do that? You know, having it on the wall in front of you, I think is important. It seems, you know, it sounds kind of stupid, but at the end of the day, you know, if you're looking at it, it's going to be in your head more often. I think that's worth something. That's why I also put the keys right up there too, you know, in the line. That way, if I ever need a key, grab and go. You know, try and have everything organized. You need to get the oil change on. What is that? Your first oil change, Blake? That drives me crazy, man. You're just now getting your first oil change done, and I'm on my third oil change. That is just crazy. My dog's over here begging for some food. I'm going to give him some salsa and a chip. Here you go, boy. There you go. Okay. Okay, you can eat it. I don't think he likes the salsa. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to share that with you. Routine maintenance, preventive maintenance, something to keep in mind. You know, they're both very important. You know, and when you have one truck, it's not like 100% important. It is really important in a sense because you want to develop a habit for when you get more than one truck. And see, that's what I was kind of struggling with. Once I added 2 more trucks versus the old Peterbilt, I did not have the habits in place. That's important. I should have kept up on it more. But when you only have one truck, it's like, oh, it's in your mind. You know when it's happening. You're like, oh, yeah, in a week or 2 I'll do the oil change, and you know, no problem. This, that, and the other. As soon as you start getting to more trucks, you're gonna lose track. You will lose track 100%. I guarantee you will lose track of something. You know, or you'll put something off too long. If you don't have it written down, gotta write it down. Gotta have, you know, it in front of you. So, anyways, that's my second advice for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.